Waking up 3, 4, or 5 times a night to use the bathroom is not a normal part of getting older. We have been conditioned to think that once we cross 60, broken sleep and a lifetime of midnight trips to the toilet are just the price of admission for a long life. But it is not. In fact, if you are waking up more than 3 times every single night, your body is actively waving a red flag. It is trying to warn you about a deeper shift in your cardiovascular system, your hormones, or your metabolism that goes far beyond a simple aging bladder. Ignoring it is like ignoring the check engine light on a long road trip. I am Dr. Carl. I have spent the last 16 years practicing as a urologist, helping thousands of men and women regain control of their bladders and their sleep. Tonight, we are going over the 9 hidden reasons you are waking up to pee, counting down to the most critical warning signs your body can give you. We will look at everything from a surprising breathing issue that fools your bladder to the common dinner time habit that ruins your sleep, all the way to a silent cardiovascular shift you cannot afford to ignore. Make sure you pay close attention to number 3 on our list, because it involves a very common prescription medication that millions of seniors take at the completely wrong time of day, causing them hours of unnecessary frustration every night. Before we dive into the first reason, I want to ask you a quick question. How many times did you have to get out of bed last night? And what time did you find yourself waking up the most? Drop your answer in the comments below. I read every single comment, and your real-life experiences directly shape the topics I cover in these videos to help you get the answers you actually need. Let us start with the first and perhaps most common reason we see this happening after 60. It is something called nocturnal polyuria. Now, that sounds like a mouthful of medical jargon, but it simply means your body is producing the vast majority of its urine during the night rather than during the day. When we are younger, our bodies produce a natural hormone in the evening that tells our kidneys to slow down and concentrate our urine so we can sleep for 8 hours straight. As we get older, our bodies naturally produce less of this nighttime hormone. The result is that your kidneys keep working at full speed all night long, filling your bladder to capacity every few hours. Think of it like a leaky faucet that only starts dripping fast when the sun goes down. A review published in the Journal of Urology highlighted that this hormonal shift is one of the primary drivers of disrupted sleep in seniors, affecting up to 80% of older adults who struggle with nighttime waking. To start managing this week, try elevating your legs on a recliner or a few pillows for about 2 hours in the late afternoon. This helps the fluid that pools in your legs during the day get back into your bloodstream and out through your kidneys while you are still awake, instead of waiting until you lie down in bed. Of course, if you notice sudden changes in how much fluid you are holding, it is always a good idea to bring it up at your next Medicare visit. The second reason on our list is something that surprises almost every patient who walks into my office: sleep apnea. Most people think sleep apnea is just about snoring or feeling tired during the day, but it has a massive, direct impact on your bladder. When you have sleep apnea, your airway briefly closes while you are asleep. Your body panics because it cannot get oxygen, and your chest expands forcefully to try and draw in air. This sudden expansion creates a false pressure change inside your chest cavity, mimicking a fluid overload. Your heart senses this pressure and assumes your blood volume is too high, so it releases a powerful hormone that signals your kidneys to immediately dump water. Your body is essentially throwing water overboard to save the ship, waking you up with a full bladder. Research from the American Urological Association has shown a remarkably strong link between untreated sleep apnea and severe nighttime urination. If you suspect this might be you, especially if your spouse says you snore or gasp for air, your action step this week is to schedule a conversation with your primary doctor to ask for a simple, home-based sleep study. Treating the airway issue often completely cures the nighttime bladder issue. That brings us to number 3, the one I warned you about earlier: the timing of your blood pressure medications, specifically diuretics or what many people call water pills. These medications are fantastic for managing blood pressure and protecting your heart because they help your body rid itself of excess salt and fluid. But if you take your water pill with dinner or right before bed, you are essentially ordering your kidneys to work overtime precisely when you are trying to sleep. It creates an artificial wave of urine production that will keep you running to the bathroom every 2 hours until the medication wears off. Some studies suggest that simply shifting the timing of this medication can drastically improve a senior's quality of life and sleep continuity. Your clear action step for this week is very simple. Do not stop taking your medication, but call your pharmacist or look at your prescription bottle. If you are taking a diuretic in the evening, have a quick conversation with your doctor about moving that dose to the morning or early afternoon so the fluid leaves your body while you are active and awake. The fourth hidden cause is chronic venous insufficiency, which is just a medical term for poor circulation in your lower legs. As the years go on, the tiny valves in the veins of our legs can become a bit weak. When you sit in a chair or stand up during the day, gravity pulls blood and fluid down into your calves and ankles, causing subtle swelling that you might notice when you take your socks off at night. The magic, or rather the problem, happens when you finally lie flat in bed. Without gravity pulling the fluid down, all that pooled water easily re-enters your circulatory system. Your heart looks at this sudden influx of fluid and says, "We have way too much volume here. Let us send it straight to the kidneys." Within an hour or two of lying down, your bladder is completely full. Many doctors are seeing this as a primary, overlooked cause of sleep disruption. To combat this starting tonight, consider wearing mild compression socks during the daytime hours to keep that fluid from pooling in your legs in the first place, and make sure you take them off before you go to sleep. Let us take a quick pause here. If what we are talking about is helping you connect the dots about your own body, please take a moment to tap that like button. It tells the system to share this medical information with more seniors who are tired of losing sleep and need these answers. And let me know in the comments, have you ever noticed your ankles swelling by the end of the day? I really want to know. Moving on to number 5, we have to talk about hidden blood sugar spikes and early stage type 2 diabetes. When your blood sugar levels are higher than they should be, your kidneys have to work incredibly hard to filter and absorb the excess glucose. If the sugar levels in your blood cross a certain threshold, your kidneys cannot keep up, and that extra sugar spills over into your urine. Sugar naturally draws water toward it through osmosis. So, as the sugar enters your bladder, it drags a massive amount of water along with it, creating a high volume of urine that wakes you up repeatedly. A study published in the journal Diabetes Care highlighted that frequent nighttime urination is often one of the very first warning signs of insulin resistance in adults over 60. Your action step this week is to check the results of your last annual physical, or call your doctor's office to check your latest A1C or fasting blood glucose levels. Keeping an eye on those numbers is a powerful way to protect both your metabolism and your sleep. The sixth cause is a classic urological issue that affects millions of men as they get older, an enlarged prostate, officially known as benign prostatic hyperplasia, or BPH. The prostate is a small gland that sits right at the base of the bladder, completely surrounding the tube you pee through. As men age, this gland naturally grows. If it gets too large, it acts like a clamp on a garden hose, squeezing the channel shut. This means every time you go to the bathroom, your bladder muscle has to squeeze incredibly hard to push urine past the obstruction. Over time, the bladder muscle gets tired and thickens, losing its ability to stretch and hold urine. Even worse, you can never fully empty your bladder, leaving a permanent puddle of urine inside. If your bladder is always half full, it only takes a tiny amount of new urine to trigger the urge to go again. Research from the American Urological Association confirms that managing prostate growth is essential for restoring deep sleep in aging men. If you are experiencing a weak stream or hesitation, your step this week is to see a urologist for a quick, painless exam to see if a simple daily supplement or prescription could open that channel back up. Number 7 applies to both men and women, and it is an overactive bladder, often driven by age-related changes in the bladder lining or pelvic floor muscles. As we cross 65, the nerves supplying our bladder can become a bit hypersensitive. Instead of waiting until the bladder is full to send a signal to the brain, these nerves start firing misfires when the bladder is only a quarter full, causing a sudden, intense spasm and an overwhelming urgency to go right now. It is the equivalent of a home security alarm that goes off every time a leaf blows past the window. Mayo Clinic reviews suggest that bladder retraining and specific lifestyle modifications can significantly calm these overactive nerves. Your action step this week is to eliminate bladder irritants like artificial sweeteners, highly acidic foods, and afternoon caffeine, which act like lighter fluid on an already sensitive bladder lining. The eighth hidden cause is the consumption of hidden diuretics late in the afternoon or evening. Many seniors love to enjoy a cup of decaf coffee, a glass of iced tea, or a small cocktail while watching the evening news or relaxing on the patio. What many do not realize is that even decaffeinated coffee and tea contain residual compounds that stimulate the bladder muscle. Furthermore, alcohol acts as a direct chemical signal to your brain to stop producing the hormone that holds back urine, causing your kidneys to flush water rapidly. If you are having a drink at 7 in the evening, your bladder will likely be signaling you to wake up by midnight. To address this week, set a hard cutoff time for all fluids except small sips of water at least 3 hours before your head hits the pillow. Swap the evening tea for plain warm water or a non-citrus herbal blend like chamomile. Our ninth and final warning sign involves subtle underlying structural issues like a bladder prolapse in women or chronic low-grade urinary tract infections that do not cause the typical burning pain we expect. In older adults, a UTI often presents without any pain at all. Instead, the only symptoms are sudden confusion, extreme fatigue, or a dramatic increase in how often you have to run to the bathroom, especially at night. The bacteria irritate the bladder walls, making the body feel like it must empty itself constantly. Some studies suggest that asymptomatic bladder inflammation is a major cause of sudden sleep disruption in senior women. If your nighttime trips started suddenly out of nowhere, your action step this week is to take a simple urine sample to your doctor's office or local clinic to rule out a silent infection. Let me tell you about a patient of mine named Robert. Robert is a 72-year-old retired executive who recently moved down to Scottsdale, Arizona. He loves spending his mornings on the golf course, but over the last year, he found himself waking up 4 to 5 times every single night to use the bathroom. He was exhausted during the day, nodding off by lunchtime, and terrified that he was developing a serious heart condition or that his prostate was completely failing him. When Robert came into my clinic, we looked at the whole picture. It turned out his prostate was only slightly enlarged, but he was taking his blood pressure water pill at 7 o'clock every evening with dinner, and he was struggling with undiagnosed leg swelling from sitting during his long afternoon bridge games. We made 3 simple changes. We moved his medication to 9 o'clock in the morning, had him wear light compression socks during his bridge games, and told him to prop his legs up for an hour before dinner. Within just 3 weeks, Robert went from waking up 5 times a night to waking up just once, sometimes sleeping completely through until morning. His energy came roaring back, and the anxiety that had been clouding his retirement completely vanished. If you want to start seeing changes like Robert did, let us look at tonight's plan with 5 simple, concrete steps you can take starting today. First, shift any prescribed diuretic medications to the morning hours after a quick confirmation with your doctor's office. Second, elevate your legs above your heart for 30 to 60 minutes in the late afternoon to clear out pooled fluid before bed. Third, set a strict fluid cutoff time 3 hours before sleep, eliminating alcohol, sodas, and caffeinated or decaffeinated teas in the evening. Fourth, take a look at your recent medical records to ensure your blood sugar and A1C levels are well within the normal range. Fifth, if you snore or wake up gasping, ask your doctor for a simple home sleep study to check for sleep apnea. Waking up multiple times a night is a clear message from your body, but it is a puzzle we can absolutely solve together. In our next video, we are going to look at the exact 3 vitamin deficiencies that secretly cause your bladder muscles to weaken and twitch after 60, and how a simple change at the pharmacy counter can help restore your bladder's natural strength. I am Dr. Carl. Stay well, and I will see you there.